Hello and welcome to an Everyday Canines video. In this episode on Running Contacts, we're talking about working our seesaw in tandem and we're looking at overcoming noise fear with the seesaw. So I'm going to do 3 little quick lessons for you about how we work some key issues with the seesaw to hopefully prevent it being an issue with the dog walk. And I want to just point to you at this little dog here, because this little one was very scared of the seesaw to the point she wouldn't come out of my car. And now look what she's doing, she's sitting here. She chose to come up here all by herself. Swift has come up here as well, and she was worried about the seesaw too, but this little one, and that's because the last few weeks we've been working to build her confidence on the seesaw. Nothing dramatic, she's not doing a full seesaw, she doesn't do a full yet, but she's just learning that this is an okay place to be, even though it does move and do weird things, it's an okay place to be. So this is really good, this is awesome. We're going to start by talking about the bang. So seesaws make a noise. They clatter, they rattle, and it's not necessarily just when your dog is doing the seesaw that the noise is an issue. It can be an issue when other dogs are doing the seesaw and it spooks your dog. So the first thing I want you to think about when you're taking your young dog to class or you're somehow working around other dogs, I want you to think, where is the seesaw in relation to where my dog is training, and what is my dog going to be training on while the seesaw is happening? Depending on the class setup, if the dog walk is near the seesaw, I want you to be very aware of that, or even if it's the A-frame, because if your dog is going over the dog walk, then another dog is doing the seesaw and it bangs, it could really spook your dog and that could cause issues. So we need to be aware of where this seesaw is, and then when it's in use all times. Same as if you're taking your dog around a competition. If I'm taking my dogs around a competition before they're even able to compete, which I do to socialise, then I'm going to be looking at where is the seesaw, and I'm asking myself, do I want to be walking my dog past that seesaw, or do I want to make sure I go around the opposite way around the ring? It's just these little things, because all too often what happens is people are unaware, and it's an innocent unawareness. It's not because they're not thinking about the dogs, just because they don't think about it. You know, to us it's just a seesaw, we know it's going to make a bang at some point and it doesn't worry us, and people don't realise that, and then suddenly that makes a bang and oh hang on, my dog is freaked out by the seesaw. In actual fact, I did exactly that, because I had all my dogs at my field. She was in the car and I had Swift doing the seesaw. That was completely innocuous to me. She was practicing her seesaw behaviour, she was in the car. And that spooked her. The noise spooked her, so she wouldn't come out and come near this. She was terrified of it, and then we started this whole issue. And that took me by surprise, because the car was at a distance. And yeah, so it's just one of these things. So now I'm becoming much more acutely aware of the noise. So when we're first looking at the noise of the seesaw and how it affects our dogs, initially, I don't want them making the noise themselves. What I'm looking at is for them to just be happy with the noise happening at a distance and unexpectedly, because that's the big thing. We can prime our dogs when we're holding it and say ready, ready, and make a bang. But what about when it happens unexpectedly? We need them to be okay with it happening unexpectedly. Think of it this way. Even if you train all by yourself, ultimately you're going to be competing at shows, that's what you're going to do, but where there's multiple rings, and very often they're close to one another. And it could be happening that your dog's in this ring and it's doing something, and on the other side there's a dog and there's a seesaw, and as your dog's doing whatever it is here, say it's the tunnel or the dog walk, whatever, another dog in that ring goes bang down the seesaw. So your dog is going to have that banging noise near it when it's doing something else. And if your dog's not used to that, that can really spook it and put it off competition environments. So we need to be aware of these things. So how do we start? Well, first off, what I do is, again, I'm acutely aware of when the seesaw is in use, at least initially. Once I'm happy that my dog is not worrying about the noise, then I don't worry about the noise. Nowadays when I'm at a group training, I don't worry if a dog is doing the seesaw and she's doing her own thing. I know she's not going to worry now. But initially, I would say, right, that's making a bang. And what I would do is find the area where she didn't react to the bang. So it would be a case of, right, how far close can I get, or how far do I need to be away to not have a bang worry her? And once I got to that stage, I'd go, right, it's about here. Say it's 6 meters away. So I'm getting there, and ideally it'd be a case that she's not even looking at the seesaw. It's happening in the background. She may twitch near, but there's nothing much happening. And what I'll do then is, as I'm seeing the seesaw going bang or whatever, I'll be throwing treats on the floor, getting her to search for them, sniff, just getting her to go, oh yeah. And so this banging noise is happening in the background, and I am counter conditioning that bang to something positive by throwing treats on the floor. So basically I'm associating bang, food, bang, food. But I'm not even doing it quite as uniform as that, because I'll be throwing the treats down, so the treats will be on the floor while the seesaw's up, and then it comes down, bang. So she's searching for the treats as the seesaw's banging. So I'm not even saying that I'm rewarding that bang. What I'm doing is I'm saying that bang means nothing. It's not relevant. More important, you get your treats. Obviously, if you've got a toy motivated dog, it'll be a toy. Then, of course, I start to work closer, and actually you can do this quite quickly as long as you haven't got a hyperphobic dog for noise. And then I start moving closer and closer, so I get a bit closer. And I don't mind if she looks at the seesaw. It's what I don't want is her freaking out, because it's perfectly acceptable if she hears a noise for her to go, what was that? I would. So it's perfectly acceptable to her look, as long as she then goes, oh, okay, and comes back to me and carries on with her treat diving. What I don't want is her freaking out, barking, pulling, scared, showing any signs of fear that would indicate it really spooked her. So I do this until I can be right next to the seesaw with another dog banging it, and I'd probably be, if it's a nice weather, sitting on the ground with her, playing with her, throwing treats down, and she's completely not bothered. Okay, so that would be step one, purely acclimatizing her to the fact that this big noise happens, but it's not a big bother. Next, we're going to do the game. They call it the bang game. I've been doing this. I was just thinking how long I've been doing this game. Well, certainly I was first taught it was Sparrow, so she's 7. So we've been doing this quite a while. And this is where we teach the dog that they can make the bang themselves, and we teach them that it's their choice to make the bang. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a shuffle of my arrangement. Can you come off, my lovely? Okay, so my seesaw is now slightly raised at that end. You can do it either end, but this works quite nicely until we've got an end. Because my seesaw is slightly wrongly weighted, it needs a bit of look, it needs to be more weighted at here, and I've got a bag there, it's automatically tipping up. Now I've changed that end bit, but it's not tipping up too much. Okay, what I'm wanting is for Magpie to choose to make it bang like that. Now I'm having to get it to move back on its own, setting it up, and it's not very high off the ground, but she's choosing to make that bang. Ready? Oh, good girl. I don't mind if she does it with 2 paws, that she jumps the whole thing on. I don't mind, just so that she's controlling the bang. Yeah! I'm going to see if she'll choose to make the bang herself. Yeah! And so we're just getting the idea, so it's all about her choice. Good girl. I'm not luring her on. I'm just getting her to choose to do it herself. Good girl, you can come off now. Obviously it'd be easier if I turned it the other way around so that it was on the naturally weighted side. Yeah. But I'm doing this because of the setup. Okay. Yay! So I am not asking for, and I'm just asking her to shape this behaviour just so that she understands that she controls the bang. Simple as, you step on there, it makes a bang, and that's a hood reward. Banging is a hood reward. So that is basically game 1. Now, when I was first getting her onto the dog walk plank, just getting her to walk on it, I did exactly the same here. I did it here with a fixed dog seesaw so that nothing was moving, and then with a little tiny bit of movement, tiny, subtle, so that she was getting to do both at the same time and understanding that this one doesn't move but this one does, and it's not a problem. So that now we're getting to a stage, hopefully, where we're starting to appreciate that they're different things, but that's okay. Now, obviously what I can do with this game, I can make that tip bigger and bigger, so she's got to make it a bigger and bigger bang, and keep going at it and that. And that's what I will do, and I'll do it at various points. Another way I've been doing this game, because obviously the bang is going to happen when they're coming down it. So just wait there a second. Another way I've been doing it is I've been asking her to come down, and so she's making the bang herself. Good girl, going into a down. So I can ask her to come on here, down, and get her to bang it like that. So she's starting to do the end behaviour. Good girl. Okay, break. Good. So she's just getting a little bit the idea that she's banging it herself. I'm not too fussed about that because, that's not really what I'm doing with the end behaviour. It's just playing at this stage. We're just playing. We're just having a game. We're getting used to it, going, yeah, this is fine. So that's not a big deal, is it? Hey, good girl. I mean, this is huge what she's doing here compared to how she was. There are lots of factors to Seesaw games, and I could be going on this for like a year and a half. But this is one game that you can play. There are lots of others. And once we've looked at playing the noise game, once the dog's happy with the noise, then we're going to look at some of the other games, which include movement and impact. Okay then, so I hope this makes sense to your video. Now take this steadily, work at your dog's pace, work at where they're comfortable with. We want to be building confidence at each stage and not freaking them out. If you go too fast, you can set yourself back. So take it steady on this. I hope you've enjoyed this Everyday Canines video, and if you have, you might subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can click the notifications bell, which will mean you can get the videos notified when the videos are going to come out. And you can also find us on Facebook and Instagram. And I hope to see you all again very, very soon.